All right, guys, we are back with another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am Brian, your host, with Hank, the Bass Geek. What's up, brother?
What is going on, y'all? Man, it's just been a good week. We're getting ready for iCast, man, next week. I'm
Nice.
super excited about that. I get to come down and look at people that I've never met before and then
You're
be
gonna
like,
have
"Hey, listen, I want to do this professionally. Give me money."
you're gonna have an awesome time. By the
It's
way, it's amazing. It's overwhelming. It's so much there. It's like being a casino for bass fishing anglers.
man, I didn't think that it was that bad. That's my wife, everybody. If you're
Yes,
watching,
yes,
she snuck in and brought me a Coca-Cola. I won't say some Coke because that may imply other things.
right.
But anyway, everybody had said about how big it is, and I've been to some big expos. I've been to the Classic. I've been
Yeah.
to, but then I seen the floor plan. I thought, it's probably not bigger than the Knoxville show, right? Because the Knoxville show's pretty big. And then I seen the floor plan, and I'm like, I don't know, it might be bigger than the Knoxville show, man.
It's pretty daggone big. And then you have the day before that when everybody gets outside and you could go check out the new kayaks, all the new kayak stuff. I got the kayak stuff on tonight. So, I mean, yeah, so you get to, the outdoor expo. I think I'm not sure what all is going to be on the outside, but you get the day before, you get the iCast tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's an awesome freaking weekend. And guess what? Happens at 5:00. It's called Happy Hour.
Woo-hoo.
And it's everywhere.
Gosh, man.
It is everywhere.
I probably need to stay away from that, but I won't. I'll be the first to tell you.
So in Geeks Going Down, my neighbor, someone we've had on as well a couple of different times, Mr. Derek Hudson, is going down. Him and his family are going to make a little vacation out of a work vacation for him.
Good dude.
So he is going to take down my microphone system and hopefully get us some fresh content for the basscast.com.
Heck yeah.
Year number 4, I got hit up today. Another gentleman, our latest writer, is going down as well.
Awesome.
And because he ain't really going down because he lives in Florida.
Oh.
So he'll be there as well because he's like, are you coming? I'm like, no, I'm not coming. Mr. Jason Bradstreet, guys. Little quick plug. Check his newest, first ever story for us. 5 ways to practice for a tournament when time is short. Just posted today. Please hit the share button. Please hit the like button. It's on Facebook. I posted it on Instagram as well. So head on over and check that out. So it's going to be a great time. I hope you have fun, Geek. I'll miss you.
Too, man. First time I've got to go down. So, I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to get to go down. I'm going to try my best to do a lot of, so make sure you're keeping up with me on, TikTok. I'm gonna try to almost just basically make some live on the cool products that I find, just literally make the TikTok and upload it almost immediately. So I'm going to pump the stuff out as quick as I can pump it out.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'll be honest, that's the thing for me. If I was to go to iCast, I would actually need to take Danielle with me because I'd be recording and she could be uploading, and it would be one of the things where you need to get at least that night, get as much, don't flood us, but
yeah,
you need to get it out as soon as possible. And it's one of the things, and it's a huge show and you're going to have a great time. So congratulations and good luck to you.
The good thing about how I'm going to do it, and most time how I do my interviews, everybody knows who I am, so they don't need to see me. So I just get the camera and stand behind it and move and show things. And
there you go.
I figured they got people that they're paying to stand there and tell us about the bait. So let me let them do their job. I ain't gonna let them not work. They can't go down there and not do their job. Come on now.
Yeah. These people have bought booths and they are ready to go because, this is showcasing what's coming out some this end of this year and some
Yeah.
2023. So I mean, and for you guys that don't know, we have to pay to go to ICAST. It's
Yeah.
$100 just to get in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's only media and buyers.
Yep.
So it's an awesome event. You're going to see some great things. So make sure you're following Bass Geek on TikTok as well as YouTube, so that way you don't miss a minute. All right, so I'm staying around here. For you guys who don't know, I haven't really talked about a lot. We're in the process of building a new website. We have not built a new website in 5 years.
Nice.
It needs a cleanup. The old website, I'm just uploading content. It's just like throwing mud at the wall. That's what I've been doing. And the back end is like falling to pieces. So I brought a bass. I'm sitting there reading something else. So I brought a web tech on to handle the back end for us. So all this is expensive, as Geek knows. He is an engineer. It is not cheap. And we're going to have to figure out how to pay for it, because this is something I had not planned on, but the Lord brought someone in. He is local. I can drive down the street. We can have a meeting. He is right up the road. And that's what I've had a lot of guys say, hey, I'll help you build.
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand that, but you're hours away.
Yeah.
I need somebody in our back door that we can spend some time with, show him the vision and build it.
That's nice.
So there's the plan. All right, guys, let's talk, man. Where the Basscast will be at next. I am actually going to the James River. I'll be on Osborne Landing for the BFL this weekend. As you guys can see, this is my kayak jersey. We got a kayak tournament up and coming. So for all you kayak anglers out there, and that's what we're going to be talking about again tonight, is kayak fishing. Please head on over to thebasscast.com. Click on Kayak Bass Fishing News, and everything you need to know is right there. And just click on the Tourney X link and go get signed up for our next event. Geek, besides that, which is freaking awesome.
It is.
Some new YouTube videos have dropped.
Yeah, we're dropping the YouTube videos every Sunday and Wednesday. Yeah, I always want to say Thursday for some reason. I don't know why. I've been
that's
doing
because
this
we
for
upload the
5 years.
Basscast on Thursday.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, we're doing that. We do lives on Monday, and then we drop 2 shorts too, which everybody seems to love. And we're going to be 1 short of 2 this week. I didn't get to get yesterday's short out.
All good.
But I mean, it's been fun. Like I said, me and you were talking before. I have had the best week of growth, subscriber growth, ever on the channel. We did, I think, 2 or 3 days were well into the upper hundreds, but we did 2 or 3 days where we literally did like 220, 210 subscribers a day.
That's awesome, dude.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Congratulations.
It's fun. It's fun.
Let's get Geek up to 100,000, everybody. Let's everybody freaking hit the daggone share button right now. Go hit the follow button. Tell all your freaking friends, fishing freaking friends out there. Let's get him free. Let's get somebody free. I'm trying to get free myself, but let's get him free. I mean, let's make it happen.
The shorts, it's what everybody's wanting to watch now.
Oh yeah, I know.
And so, mine. I don't just put out, hem-haw shorts. I put a little work into them.
They're funny.
Yeah, they're funny and they're informative too.
Yes.
So,
All right. So hit the follow button, hit the share button, hit the like button, you name it. Let's get Geek up here. We need to do a Bass Geek telethon. Then we did the Basscast telethon right after that. Jerry Lewis is dead, but we can revive that whole damn thing. And I need some money and Geek needs some followers. So let's make it happen.
There we go.
All right, guys. Like I said, tonight we got another kayak angler, a returning kayak. Actually, we've told you guys, we're not just nailed down to anything. I mean, I've got a YouTuber lined up. I've got a bunch of other stuff. As long as you want to talk bass fishing, let's go for it, man. Justin Largen's back with us from right here in Central VA. The dude is on a roll this year, winning. And we're going to talk to him. And we're happy to have him as a contributor right here at the basscast.com, our first kayak writer.
That's nice.
So new story coming out in July. He's already given me the little header. So we got that ready. And next week, you will be able to see that right here on the basscast.com. So thank you to him. We'll have him on. But first, let's go through the little list of sponsors. Conrad Brothers Marine, Bass Tank, Lynchburg Arms and Indoor Shooting Range, WW Novelty, Missile Baits, Angler's Choice Marine, and the Smith Mountain Lake Tackle Shack. Guys, I've got a buddy of mine who drives 30 minutes to go to the Tackle Shack. It's a little store with a big punch. He's got a lot of great stuff in there, and he knows what you guys want. Rod tips, rods, he does it all. And he's making 2 rods just for us to give away at the Basscast Tournament Series, our final event of the 2022 season. So
heck yeah.
Thank you to all these awesome sponsors. We really appreciate you guys. Guys, we're going to be right back with Mr. Justin Largen. All right, guys, we are back with Virginia angler, Mr. Justin Largen. What's up, brother? Welcome back to the show.
What's going on, man?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Guys, this man is on a win situation right now, making it happen. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
How's it feel?
Feels good. I've not had the best luck with 2-day events. It's taken me a little while to kind of figure out how to fish those. And it's stiff competition. These Hobie events, it's not easy. So to win one of those, it feels awesome.
Guys, if you don't know already, he won the very first Basscast Tournament Series of the 2022 season on Smith Mountain Lake. Came in and took all the kids' money. And it's been rolling ever since. But I think you had won before that, didn't you? You had won an event before that, and then you came down and fished with us.
Yeah, I think he did win because he was on with us, and then
you were on with us, and then you came fish with us, and then you won again. And
yeah, it's been good luck. That's the Bassmaster on the Harris chain.
Yes,
was my first win on the national level, and then you guys invited me. I think when I was on the show, you guys invited me, told me about the other tournament, and that one worked out too. It's been a fun year.
Now, you guys, I've seen his setup. He's got like 2 kayaks strapped on a vehicle. He's got a Hobie. You got like 2 or 3 kayaks you carry with you, don't you?
I've got the ability to carry 2. I guess technically I do have 2, but I take the Hobie with me. That I've had it about a little over a year. Last spring, I got my first pedal drive. It's just an Outback. It's not the fanciest one. There's a lot of guys running those 360s, the PA 12s and 14s, but it's for me, coming from having a paddle everywhere, and for the better part of 10 years, I've just paddled everywhere. And when it was real nasty out, you just kind of didn't go out, or you find some little protected water. So to have a Hobie and be able to cover miles and miles and not be exhausted when you get somewhere, it makes a big difference. So that's what I bring with me. And I've started figuring out that, just like anything mechanical, stuff will break down when you use it a lot. And I put a lot of miles on mine. So I've started carrying spare parts, and I'm getting better at figuring out how everything works, and trying to make sure I'm maintaining it properly. But you never know what's going to happen. The last thing, especially as heavy as that boat is, it's not quite the same as paddling a light boat. So the last thing I want to be miles and miles from the ramp and have to paddle that.
Now, for you guys that don't know, me personally, I will watch the Hobie series years ago when it first started, and it was just maybe one or a couple different events a year, and then it just started growing and growing and growing. And dude, man, I mean, it's like how many events is Hobie up to now?
If it's not 10 this year, it's close to it. I think they're
Wow.
doing 9 or 10 events.
Because they used to do like an international Hobie event.
I think they are. I've seen Eric Siddiqui and Christine Fisher talking about going to the Worlds.
Yeah,
I have no idea how you qualify for that, like what all goes into it. But I know there's some big names. I think Ryan Lambert's another one that.
oh wow.
And there, I'm sure there's more guys going from the States over to Sweden, I think it is.
Oh wow, that's where they're going. Okay.
Sweden.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like
I didn't know
they
are they still fishing for bass there, Sweden? I didn't know there.
well, they fish for many different things, though, don't they?
I think, and I could be wrong, but I thought what they said was pike was one of the target species. I think
could
pike,
see
and
that
it
there.
could be more than that, but I'm pretty sure pike was one of them.
Wow. All right, guys. So if you 74 of you guys have actually looked at the story, more hopefully. You guys can see you cashed another check, brother. $5,000 and a nice Hobie trophy. I think I always spoken to another kayak angler. We're not gonna bring up his name at all.
There you
go. But you know, I think he loves the trophies more than he loves the money. Some trophies are pretty daggone nice and pretty heavy. It'll last longer than the money.
Yeah,
a lot longer. Catch is making them. I think Catch is sponsoring the trail in some way, and I mean, these things are heavy duty, just like those metal catch boards. It's not going to fall apart.
Wow.
I'll have that thing forever.
All right, guys, if you don't know already, we are talking to Mr. Justin Largen from right here in Central Virginia. All right, so let's talk about this win, brother. Congratulations again, by the way. I know I'm going to box this thing up. The Winnipesaukee,
Winnipesaukee, I think is how they say
Pesaukee.
The locals call it Winnie.
All right, I like Winnie a lot better than my daggone self.
Me too.
So congratulations on that. So break it down for us, man. You know, I'm sitting here reading through the press release. I mean, day one started off with a bang for, was it 80 some competitors fished this event?
Yeah, I think we were just under 90, like mid 80s maybe. It was at least 80, which pretty good field for, with gas prices what they are. You know, a lot of the guys that do the southeast stuff, that's a long drive to get up there. So
yeah,
80 is a pretty good turnout for northeast. But yeah, I stopped at a tackle shop on the way. I'd fished at Champlain, had some car trouble, ended up kind of stuck there waiting on a part, and on the way from Champlain over, I stopped at the tackle shop and just kind of talking with the I had to buy my New Hampshire license, and I'm talking with the shop owner just to get an idea what the lake's like.
Right.
I told them I'd been fishing Champlain and that was awesome, and they kind of tell me, yeah, it's not Champlain, it's different, it's not that good. I mean, they weren't saying it was a bad lake, but it wasn't Champlain.
Right.
And I'd never been before, but they basically said the largemouth, there's some big largemouth, but they said you couldn't. You might get a kicker or two with largemouth, but you couldn't win on largemouth. So of course, I'm stubborn. I was like, well, let me try to win on largemouth. It wasn't that simple though. It was, I spent some time looking for the smallmouth because I thought that was the thing to do up there.
Right.
And I couldn't figure out something that was consistent enough that I felt like I could duplicate it for 2 days. And honestly, I thought 85 inches a day would be pretty good. You might not win, but I felt like that put you pretty close. Cashing a check at least. And that first day, I think 50 people put up over 80 inches. I mean,
it ended up being 51 competitors put up over 80 inches. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah,
and there were a lot of largemouth caught too. And I kind of lucked into something. I was poking around looking for smallmouth, and I was trying to find some backwater areas just to see if there were any little creeks that came in. And Drew Gregory's been in a roll. I was trying to find somewhere. We find some of this stuff like what Drew fishes, and there
Those
really just
creeks,
isn't
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
There's a couple little tiny creeks, but there's just not. At least I couldn't find anything that really worked. But while I was poking around in an area looking for something, I kind of went into a backwater area that had some docks and just ran across some big fish. And I saw a couple of small, like a small pair that was rolling that actually had a bed, and it wasn't a real visible bed, but it like I could see him rolling. And then I saw a couple other fish in the area.
Right.
Made some casts, not fishing with hooks, but throwing around them. They weren't real aggressive. A couple of the fish I was seeing had, you can see they've been caught before. They got the hook mark, but there were some big fish in there. And there were a couple of them that I was looking at them thinking they're 20-inch range. And then I found a couple aggressive ones, and it wasn't a ton of fish though. I didn't think it was enough for 2 days. So I felt like if nobody else was in there, if I had it to myself, I could have a good day. And then I started just looking for something similar and really couldn't find another place where that was going on. They were basically post spawn, I think, and some fry guarded males. So there were a few that were still kind of locked on a bed. The other ones were more on an area wherever that fry ball was going. And I couldn't really see the fry. There were a couple that I could see, but like I said, I felt like it was going to be enough for one good day. And I just sort of scrambled. I guess it would have been Friday, just looking for something similar, and ran across another area that was similar. It looked like nothing, just a real shallow pocket that had a few same kind of deal. I don't think it was even as many fish as the first spot, but I thought, okay, we can at least do something on day 2, and then kind of wing it from there. And it ended up, both areas. It worked out better than I was expecting. It didn't start.
You finished the 2 days with 183 inches.
Yes.
Like 91.5 inches a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the best 2-day limit I've put up in these. So it was, I couldn't be happier. But man, I did not see it coming. Like I said, I thought I could have one good day, but the first, I'd found a couple of fish that were aggressive. I was throwing a swim jig with the hook cut off of it. And I had one, a couple fish that chased it that were real defensive. And I started on one of those. It was kind of a weird cast around behind the dock and, with a boat on it. And sure enough, it bit on the first drop, maybe 15 minutes into the tournament. And I leaned into it and it swam straight behind that prop. Broke I think it was 17-pound line. Just, you could see where it got me perfectly rubbed against the prop. It's going to break anything.
Yeah.
But that was one of the ones I'd been kind of counting on. I was literally thinking maybe I can get 5 just because I wasn't sure how finicky they'd be. Some of them been caught before. And that was about the only fish I lost. I kind of settled down after a few minutes, retied, picked up a different rod, and just decided I couldn't see real well. It was early. Just started skipping a missile 48 around these other docks.
I love that bait. Watermelon red is my favorite.
I actually have that color. I don't know if you can see.
There it is.
That was my day 2 color. I used I don't know if you've ever thrown what's it called? Goby bite. It's like a green pumpkin kind of with some like a translucent like blue flash on the belly. And that's what I threw all day 1 was that goby bite. And I ended up, I think by 9 o'clock, I had a limit, one small one, and then upgraded a couple times to 90 inches. And then I quit fishing. I was like, there's no point in me trying to catch any more fish.
So how long did it take? So how long did it take you to limit? You said within the first 2 hours?
We started at 5:30, I think was first
too
cast,
early for me.
I think. And then
it's daylight early up there though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. I couldn't believe how early. Like the sun's coming up at like 4:30, and then I felt like I was sleeping in, and then I'd get up at 7 o'clock, and I'm looking around and it's 5:30. But I once I kind of caught those the first day, I didn't feel like I was going to be able to do any better.
So did you go practice after the first day, or did you
I
Did you
did.
load up and move to another area?
I did both. There was another cove nearby
Okay.
where I had caught them that first day, and I'd seen some fish in practice, but they weren't real locked on. So I went and looked for those, and ended up finding a handful of maybe 13 to 15-inch fish.
Yeah.
They were, I mean, all scattered out. It wasn't like there was a cluster of them, and I'm looking at them thinking it's not going to be something I could do, the next day. Catching 15
Yeah.
inches and everybody else has got 80 inches
Yeah.
is not gonna.
It's not going to matter. Those fish aren't going to matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So I spent some time there looking, probably too much time looking, and then got the boat back on the trailer, and I ended up driving pretty much a full circle around the lake. I wanted to check a couple of places I hadn't seen in practice, and then I ended up going back to that area where I had found them, I think Friday. I wanted to just, it wasn't too far from one of the boat ramps. I wanted to just jet in there, look and see if those fish were still there. And then at least I would know if it was worth starting there the next day. And I got to that ramp, and I mean, I couldn't believe how many people were there. It was completely full.
Oh, wow.
And, there were boats, big trailer bass boats. They were parked all in the street, and I wasn't about to do that. So I tried going to another nearby launch, and by the time I ended up getting there and getting parked, I was looking at it like, I'm not going to have enough time to get there before line's out. You're basically, I don't think Hobie has a cutoff time, like you got to be off the water in an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're not supposed to be scouting and fishing, do anything like that. It's supposed to be you go from wherever you are back to the launch. So I didn't think I had enough time to get to the spot to check it anyway. So it was kind of a big question mark going into day two. And I knew there were a lot of guys that launched near there. When I'd practiced, I'd seen a bunch of bass boats, guys just recreational fishing, and a bunch of kayaks. So I wasn't sure if those fish would be there. Fortunately, on day two, when I got to them, they were there. And
oh, wow.
I think I had maybe 6 waypoints, basically a waypoint on either each bed or area where I'd seen them. And it just kind of worked out. I think it took me 30 minutes to get 4. And I looked, there were a couple of them, and I couldn't find them. But it was just a weird deal. I thought, I was just going to throw that 48. And then there was one that was, it was a little bit easier to see. You couldn't necessarily see the bed itself, but in the dark still, you could see it was right next to a clump of grass that was kind of off by itself. And then down below it, there were a couple of big rocks, and it was just down in between. So I felt like I could pitch, a little, that's the one fish that I caught on a quiver worm. This is a 4.5-inch quiver.
Oh, quiver.
And I went to that fish second. The first fish that I started on was one that I thought was most aggressive. And I pitched the area where I thought it was, made a couple casts with 48 nothing. And I hadn't really thrown a topwater much, but I threw a little plopper style topwater through the area. And I think it was the second cast on the topwater I got that first fish.
Wow.
It wasn't heavy, but it was long. I think it was 17 something. Just
Cool.
long, skinny post spawner. And I pretty much went straight to that grass clump next. I pitched that quiver in there, and it bit on the first drop. And that one, I really underestimated that fish. I thought it was 14, maybe 15, and that one was 18 something.
Wow.
Dang.
There were 2 other fish in there. I went to, it was kind of like a platform, not really a dock. There weren't even posts, but it jutted out a little bit. And I'd seen a fry garter just sort of cruising there. Threw in there. I think it bit, and I missed it. I pushed all the way back in the pocket to the last one that I thought was maybe a 16, 17. And that one was, if it wasn't 19, it was close to it. That one bit second cast. And then I went back to that platform and caught the 16-incher. I'm like, so within 30 minutes, I had 4 fish, and I wasn't sure if I'd catch anything in there. So I was feeling pretty good then.
How did you have that 48 rigged up, man?
I was actually, a lot of times I throw wacky.
Okay.
But for this one, I was just the way I was skipping it, the stuff I was skipping around. I had it Texas rig, still weightless. I was using a 2-watt. I have some of the Trocar EWG, and I have some
Yep.
of the laser sharp, and I don't remember which one it was, but it's basically an EWG style, real light hook, 8-pound test, and I like a real long leader. I'm almost using it like using braid as just a backing. I
Yeah.
probably
Okay.
had 30 plus yards of fluoro on there, but I'm looking at it like it saves me from having to fill an entire spool of that fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and even Vicious is pretty good price, but even Vicious fluorocarbon, I don't want to be wasting any of it. So
No.
No.
I was skipping that around the docks, and I just basically picked up the same bait and used that in the other area.
So
And then
were the fish, were they aggressive enough where when the bait hit the water within a few seconds, you had that initial hook?
it
Or
took
was
a
it
few seconds.
took a few? Okay.
It wasn't an instant, them grabbing it for most of them. I had one the second day. The last fish I caught, my fifth fish when I finally got it, that one, blasted it off the surface like I was fishing a topwater bait.
Ooh.
It was a perfect skip, and right alongside of a boat dock, real shady little. The boat was casting real dark shade, and I just skipped it right along one of these little pleasure boats that was docked, and it came up, got it off the surface. But
Were the water temps, I mean, was it warm, dirty? How was the conditions that you
It's
were concentrating on? We don't know much about the lake, so
Yeah.
it's a glacier lake.
okay.
I don't know exactly what that means, other than it's deep and clear. Most of that, it's like almost like a blue color, just
Mm.
real deep, real clear. I was looking. I mean, I caught a couple of smallmouth real shallow. I was thinking that I could be able to see them, but I could not see the smallmouth at all. I literally had one. I was playing with a drop shot, just testing the action. Practically right under the boat, about 5 feet of water in practice, and had one just shoot out coming out of nowhere and eat it.
Wow.
But it's a beautiful lake, beautiful color. The stuff that I found was a little bit different. The
Okay.
one area had a little bit of grass in it, some milfoil, and then the other one was almost more of it was a completely other side of the lake, and it was almost looked like Florida water, kind of tannic, but very different. There's a couple places that I found anywhere that had that color water, but if you get out kind of off the bank on the main lake, most of it is just that super clear blue.
So you were pitching into the grass, and then once it came through the grass, that's when you were getting your initial bites.
Most of my bites actually weren't around the grass.
Weren't in the
There was
grass.
some
Okay.
grass in the area,
Okay.
but they were. I think some of them were fry garters, and I
Okay.
think some might have been. I think they were all post spawn, and I think some of them
Alright.
might have just been sitting there, primarily just using the dock. And like I had one spot where I skipped the jig up in there and swam it out. I had 2 good ones followed out. I ended up, skipping the 48 in there in the actual tournament. I don't know if it was the same 2 fish, but I got 2 fish out of that same area. It worked out that they were in predictable locations and they stayed there. But day 2, after I got those first 4 fish, it was a grind. I was thinking, all right, look, surely I can find a 12-incher, and I checked a couple places where I'd seen some fish in practice, ran around a little bit, found some different docks I hadn't messed with, skipped those, and just after 3 hours, it was 9 o'clock when I pulled the plug on that area and decided. And initially, my plan was, day 2, catch whatever I can catch out of that spot, leave within an hour, and just go fish something completely different. And so now it's 9 o'clock. I've basically spent 3 hours, and I decided just to go back and see if I get one more off those docks from day 1. And I kind of calmed myself down on the ride because you go that long without a bite, start thinking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did.
Yeah.
I started thinking
The
about
mental
how
part
many
of it.
times. Oh yeah, man. How many times have I had a day 2 where I've owned it? And this was back-to-back Hobie events where I was in second place after day 1, and I'm just thinking, no, you can't blow it again. Like it's not, you don't get the opportunities that often. But I was kind of calmed myself down. It was probably 20 minutes to get back to the ramp, and then another 40 to drive, 35, 40, something like that, to go around the lake to where I was the other day. And I got there, and it still took an hour. So you're kind of listening to those voices and trying to push all that
Mhm.
activity out. I went back to that same spot where I had lost that. I broke the one off the day before thinking, maybe it's back and stupid. It wasn't. But I just kind of went through it. It was in that area, it was different the second day. They weren't holding in the same kind of places. They were real shallow the first day.
Right.
And the second day, the ones that I caught were out kind of off the ends of the docks. They were the deepest part of the dock, but also the kind of the darkest spot that was there. And you know, I kept telling myself one bite, and that like the one that I referenced earlier, where I skipped the 48, perfect spot, fish ate it off the surface, and it swam out, you know, kind of where I wanted it to go. But there was a kind of a random grass clump that swam right into the mofo and wrapped all up in it. I got 8-pound
Yeah.
line. I'm just trying to, you know, I lost touch
Ease it. Yeah.
10 seconds or something while it was just wrapped in that. And I'm thinking, okay, it's either pulled off or broke off. And, you know, eventually I felt it shake its head again and just steady pressure. Fortunately, it swam out. I think that one was, it was right at 18, but
Wow.
that gave me, I think 90 for the day.
Hmm.
And I ended up upgrading a couple more times, but that was the tournament right there. That fish coming out of the grass and me netting it, just the kind of that feeling of relief that I
That's
got it.
awesome.
I didn't blow it. At the very least, I'm going to get a check, because there were enough guys that, you know, who know. I had no idea somebody could come out of, you know, 20th, 30th with one of these, you know, having
Yeah. After day
Yes.
one, I mean, like, you know, like we spoke of earlier, I mean, you know, a lot of guys had an awesome day number one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even if you had a, you know, 1 through 50 with 80 inches, if you bust 100 the second day, you're right at 80. And I don't know,
Yeah.
you know, it's not likely, but it's possible.
Wow.
So were you primarily focused on areas with docks, because and was there anything that made certain docks better? Were you able to kind of discern which docks were going to be the better docks that seemed to have the fish, or was it just a general area that group of docks seemed to be good?
I think it was a general area. It was kind of one, I guess you call it a pocket,
Mhm.
that they were just in there. And I think they were, I think the largemouth were done pretty much everywhere, but there were enough of them holding in that
Right.
spot. It was, I don't know if it was just deep enough or what they liked about it. And it maybe the watercolor was a little bit different there,
Mhm.
but I really couldn't. I tried to find something that was like that
Yeah.
with fish of that quality, and I just couldn't find it. It was really just fortunate that I found that one, and then, like I said, the other area, there were some docks in that cove, but it was really just kind of a shallow flat. There was,
Mm.
I went up shallow. You know, they got these buoys, you know, showing hazards.
Mhm.
There was kind of one lane you could use to get into that cove where all the
Yeah.
residents, you know, how they get their boats in there. But the rest of it, you had shallow rocks, and I was just drifting up shallow when the sun was high, just kind of looking around and happened to spot one, and then went a little further and spotted another one. And it, I don't know how many places where that was actually going on, but
Mm.
I had just enough for 10 fish.
There you go.
Wow.
That's
I
all
need.
that matters, man.
That is true. Congratulations
Thank
again,
you.
brother. Um, you know, like you said earlier, you know, we spoke of, you've been on a tear this year. You've had an awesome year. What do you think has changed for Justin, man? Something changed for you, or, you know, the mindset change? And
I think the mindset, some of it. I
okay.
think I got spun out a lot last year,
Okay.
and I had some tournaments early in the year where it was just, you had a cold front come through. It was just terrible conditions. You know, having to scrape ice off the boat. You can't even
Mm.
lower the rudder because its cable's frozen. Just stuff that they weren't great finishes. And I had a tournament. I guess it was Lake Fork. That first day, I caught one fish. I think the water was low 40s. Just a freak cold front with an ice storm where most of us couldn't even get out and practice
Right.
before the tournament. And I decided day two, it's like, I'm just going to fish a different area. I'm going to pick up that spinning rod and just try to get bites, just have fun. I felt like, you know, there's no way I was going to be in contention for anything. But that just kind of picking up the spinning rod, which was something I didn't do a whole lot last year. I ended up catching, I think I had 95 something, including
Oh, wow.
8 pound
Hmm.
on, 6 pound line with that. I was using a wacky jig head, but a green pumpkin missile forward. No, take it back. Superbug was the color I threw there. But just kind of that one day where you kind of make something out of nothing, and
Yeah.
it's been pretty good momentum since then, where just you kind of make the right decisions, and I'm not getting as frustrated when stuff doesn't go right. When practice doesn't go right, say, we'll go out there. Tomorrow's a different day. There's no guarantee that won't work.
Yep.
Practice is going to work in this tournament anyway. So it's just,
That's right.
I think that's made a difference. And this 48 we've been talking about, man, that bait, that's done some good. I've thrown it. I started throwing it a lot last fall, just fun fishing it.
Yeah.
Man, I certainly, and everybody talks about Senko. I mean, Senko's great. I've caught a lot of fish on a Senko. I don't carry them anymore. Literally, this has replaced it for me.
That's awesome, dude.
It's tough. It doesn't tear up. You don't go through as many of them. Has that same kind of nice little shimmy on the fall, whether you rig it Texas style or, with the wacky in the middle. It's just killer.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude. The rest of 2022, man. What does it look like for you, man? By the way, guys, if you're not checking out Justin's content on the basscast.com, you're losing out. Just letting you know right now, he's a heck of a writer, guys, as well as an angler. So we appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys giving me a platform. The rest of the year, I've got that local bass cast deal on James and Maury.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. I have not spent a whole lot of time on those wild rivers it's been a long time. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing that one. I'm on a wait list for the Susquehanna with Hobie, but I don't think I'm going to get into that one. I'm something like 40 places down, so I've kind of written that one off. But I am going to go to Hobie's event out of Wisconsin on the Wolf and Fox rivers. I've got definitely doing Pickwick season finale for Bassmaster Kayak Series. Yep. And then I'm going to do the TOC. I'm going to do KBF's championship. And then I haven't decided yet. KBF's going to Winnipesaukee. And it's a long drive.
Yes.
I had a good experience there the first time, but I know what I was doing, the way I was doing anyway, is not going to work. When we're going now, that spawning deals is over and done with.
Yeah. So
I don't know if lightning can strike twice there, but I'm kind of on the fence of whether I'll do that one. But that's what the rest of this year looks like anyway.
Brother, man, we appreciate you coming on again. Congratulations on the win. Thank you for talking to us. Anyone out there you'd like to thank, brother?
I don't want to sound too much like a commercial, but I got to thank Bissell. Thank Hobie. I was talking about that Outback. I love that boat. Thank Vicious Fishing. Great line. That's what I've got spooled up on everything. And then Quantum rods and reels. That's all I'm throwing.
All right, guys. You heard it right here. Appreciate you. Thank you. We'll be right back, everyone. All right, guys, we really appreciate local angler right here in Central Virginia. He actually lives up in Roanoke, which is about an hour from me. Hour and a half, really. Mr. Justin Largen. Congratulations to him. He's had a great year. Hopefully the streak will continue. And like you said, it's all about the mindset. We've had a lot, our last sonar fishing. I mean, it was we talked about that mindset thing. We really need to have, it's going to be a good one that we really need to find the right person to be talking about that whole mindset deal. I mean, you have it in business, you have it in life, you have it in everything. And it's sometimes just that small change. I mean, whether it's, I hate to say it, you guys know the basscast.com was built during the divorce. I mean, if it wasn't for that divorce, we wouldn't be here where we are now.
Yeah.
It's something about that one little change, and it says we're going to do it and we're going to make it happen no matter what it takes.
Yep.
So congratulations to him. We appreciate him for coming on and talking with us. And like I said, $5,000 check. You cash a couple of those in a year, man. That's pretty daggone sweet. I
Pretty
mean,
right.
helps pay the travel gas expenses. I mean, I came off a vacation and 3 tanks of gas was almost $300, $240 right now. So I mean, them
Don't feel
travels.
bad. That's me going to the lake right now.
So yeah, just like Geek's talking about. So I mean, it helps pay the expenses, and a lot of you guys don't know these. We go to the classic. We see all these anglers, and we see them in their beautiful jacked up trucks and all this other crap. And guess what, guys? 50% of them are sleeping in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
I had Tony Hawk here who slept who was won a crap load of money Forest Wood Cup winner.
Yeah.
Slept in the back of his truck. We were talking, I was talking about that with a friend of mine yesterday. So I mean, it's you see the glitz, you see the glamour, but you don't see what it really takes and what these guys are really doing. Like Geek, the 9 to 5, and then he's shooting content all the time.
Yeah. All the time.
All the time. So congratulations. Like I said, I can't say it enough, but thank you for him coming on. Thank you for him talking to us. As you guys hear, Geek won't be with us next week, so you just get to listen to me. I am going to put together a show because we have the Bassmaster Elites this week.
Yep.
So that kicks off in the morning. So we're really excited to that. I will probably not catch much of it tomorrow, but Friday, Saturday.
I'm going to be watching it while I'm at work. Don't tell nobody. I ain't doing. Tomorrow's my Friday, and I ain't doing nothing.
But I will catch Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'll be watching those 3 days. So enjoy the Bassmaster Elite coverage. We had an NPFL wrap up a week ago. So there's a lot going on still. So lot. So make sure you tune in to Boss Geek. Be watching for the TikToks, watching for the reels, and make sure you hit the like and the share button and reshare button. And I think TikTok just added a reshare button. I think I saw.
They do. I don't know.
So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone. And we'll see you guys all in a week.